This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. I tried pretty hard to avoid talking about Donald Trump and his stupid tweets. More times than not, his tweets are intended to serve as a distraction. Shiny, jingly keys that are shaken to misdirect the attention of a gullible corporate media establishment. Sometimes, though, the tweets are worth talking about. Sometimes discussing them isn't so much about Trump and his sheer inability to comport himself in a dignified and presidential manner, but more about the reactions to the tweets from his rabidly loyal base of MAGA Americans. That's the case today, because yesterday Donald Trump tweeted something so offensive and shit-stirring that, well, it's yet another one of those moments that we ask ourselves, what if Obama or any other president in the history of our republic had said or done that? So before we ask that question, let's talk about the tweet, or series of three. Yesterday, Donald Trump took to Twitter to declare, "Thank you to Wayne Allyn Root for the very nice words. President Trump is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. He is the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish people in Israel love him like he's the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God. But American Jews don't know him or like him. They don't even know what they're doing or saying anymore. It makes no sense. But that's okay. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's good for all, Jews, blacks, gays, everyone. And importantly, he's good for everyone in America who wants a job." Wow. And then he gives a little shout out to Newsmax, the dumb fucks over at Fox and Friends, and One America News. So Donald Trump is saying that the Jewish people in Israel love him like he's the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God. This is endorsement through repetition. And in case you don't know, Wayne Allyn Root is a nutter-butter conspiracy theorist who self-identifies as a Jew turned evangelical Christian and a passionate supporter of Donald Trump. And he's also a racist who believes that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Let me explain why this is such a loaded tweet and how it is wild pandering to conservative evangelicals. Well, when Jesus Christ was crucified, when hanging on the cross, it said in John 19:19 that a Roman soldier hung a sign above his head that read, "Jesus, King of the Jews." So this is sacrilege. There's really no other way to describe it. The other thing is about Jews believing that Donald Trump is the second coming of God. First, this is just bizarre. Just bizarre. And second, the phrase second coming refers to the Christian belief that Jesus will return a second time to earth to rapture his people and take them to heaven. And since Jews don't recognize Jesus as a God of any kind, especially the Son of God, the concept of the second coming, well, it simply just doesn't apply. And third, what kind of person refers to themselves as a God or the Son of God? What kind of people can we think of who've claimed to have been Messiah figures? These people did. Jim Jones, Charles Manson, David Koresh, and Marshall Applewhite. You know who has never done it? Never made reference to being a second coming of God? A president of the United States of America. Or a sane person, for that matter. That's who. Now let's ask that question I referred to earlier. What if Barack Obama would have tweeted a statement like that? What if he had indicated that he was the king of Israel, the king of the Jews, and the second coming of God? Are you kidding me? These sickening evangelical Christian hypocrites would have stormed the grounds of the White House. He would have been labeled the Antichrist. But of course, he didn't. He didn't tweet that because Barack Obama isn't a megalomaniac. This wasn't the only unhinged and inexplicable reference from Donald Trump related to being godlike. Later in the day, when talking about trade negotiations with China, he looked up to the sky and called himself the chosen one.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So I'm taking on China. I'm taking on China on trade.
What is happening? Where are the throngs of evangelicals to sound off about this abject disrespect for their sacred and seriously regarded faith tradition? Because in the wake of their deafening silence while Donald Trump makes a joke about the things they claim to believe, what remains of their reputations and political influence is evaporating. Once Donald Trump is gone, there won't be anyone who takes them seriously. If it hasn't happened already, there won't be a single remaining person in power who regards them as anything other than a joke.